Everybody is on our webinar now. I've given everybody a few minutes to get on. The training that I chose for today, was called traffic. It's 5 ways to get free traffic off Google. Broadcaster, AKM, the founder and CEO of Quizmatic Sync. Please bear with me as my lawn guy never gives me a time when he's coming to mow a lawn. He just comes out and mows it randomly, and my office is out in the back patio, so this is really disturbing. Now, 5 ways to get free
What is going on?
apologize for that.
Guys, what is going on?
He froze up, and I tried to get out and get back in, and now I don't see him at all.
Training I've ever had.
I don't know who's talking because I don't hear anything.
All right, can you hear me now, Barb?
Yes, I can hear you now, but
All right, if you can hear me, then we're fine. Let me see if I can get my microphone on so I can actually hear you. Hello?
I'm here.
We seem to be having a lot of technical difficulties with Google right now, unfortunately. Okay. Can you hear me, team?
Barely.
All right, but you can hear me, right? Yes, can you hear me?
A little bit.
No, it's
Your mic is
difficult to
muted.
hear you. It's difficult to hear you. It's like
All
real
right, is
choppy,
it because?
or it's a time delay, or it's freezing.
All right, Google Hangouts is just giving us a pain in the neck today. However, can you hear me a bit better now?
Right there. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
better.
I will try this one last time, and if we still have any more interruptions or breakups, then we'll just postpone this webinar and I'll do it again tomorrow. Now, the webinar that we're doing here, Penny is on with Pam's link. I think that Google Hangouts does have their issues on occasion, so please pardon us for any inconvenience with Google Hangouts. Barb, if you can open up our first poll question, that would be good. And let me talk about some of the tips that were given us and how to get free traffic, 5 ways to get free traffic from Google. The webinar presenter was a gentleman by the name of Ron. What was his last name? I forget this guy's name. His name was Ron. I forget the guy's last name. But he gave us a presentation about different ways that you could use Google to get free traffic, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was really one of the more interesting trainings that I've ever been on, because it was also one of the most boring trainings I've ever been on, honestly. You know, if there was 5 things I could say that I learned from that training, one of them was, if you are ever having trouble sleeping, please feel free to refer to that training. All right, I think that thing is better than NyQuil. All right, so that's one thing. The next thing is, don't watch that training without a good pillow. Third thing is, thank goodness that I watched that training myself, so that you don't have to go through that excruciating torture of boredom yourself. All right. The number 4 thing I learned from that training is, it's better to let a guy like Quiz open up a training like that than to use a ticket of your own for it, because unless you are a super technical guy or a web designer or a builder, then that was probably kind of complicated for you to go through. And the number 5 thing that I learned in that webinar is lentil soup. Never use that as a topic for exciting conversation. All right? Never use that as a topic for exciting conversation, because that is a major loss. But now let's get down to some of the more substantial things that I learned in that webinar, which are really good things. On Google, and everybody uses Google, understand Google's the #1 search engine on the internet. Anybody here use Google? Anybody ever use Google on this panel?
Yes.
All right. Google is the most widely used search engine on the entire internet. There are more people on Google than are even on Facebook. All right, every single day clicking on Google. So if you want to find really, really awesome source of free traffic, Google would certainly be a prime place to actually be able to use. If learning how to generate traffic for free from Google would be something that would be in your best interest for helping you with whatever business that you're on, then this is certainly a great webinar for you to be on. Chris, you've been in this industry for what, 12 years now. Have you ever considered using Google as a direct source for free traffic?
Yeah, I did, of course. At first, it was kind of still green to me. You know, a long time ago, 12 years ago, I really didn't think I was green. I didn't know much about, free traffic that was quality. I was doing like banner ads or traffic exchanges and things like that. But later on, when I found out how to be successful online, Google was like, that's my baby. I love Google. I mean, yeah, it's prime property.
All right, now, so on Google, we know when we go on a Google search, have any of you guys looked up in the top section of the Google search, right underneath this Google search, to be honest, have you seen any of those tabs there? Jillian, have you ever noticed those tabs on Google?
No, I haven't paid attention to them.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jillian, you're in for a treat, because one of those tabs is Google Images. Now, did you know if you search something on Google, you can click on images and it'll bring up an image. And it'll bring up images that are cataloged.
I've done that.
Awesome, you've done that. Now let me ask you a question, Jillian. Since you've done that, have you ever wondered how those images get cataloged onto Google?
I never thought about it.
Chris, how about you?
Nah, I never thought about. I mean, I think I thought it was user based. You know what I mean? That people submit and upload the information at certain places, not knowing that these search engines are pulling that information or whatever. So it makes sense, but I'm not certain if that's how it's done.
Well, I'm certain that that's how it's done after coming off of this training.
Okay.
You can submit your image to Google, and Google will list your image. And you could do it using basic poor man's SEO if you like. But the truth of the matter is that anybody can use Google and exploit it. Now, I have people doing my lawn right now, which is making a very inconvenient scenario for me to conduct a webinar here. But let me just breeze through this real quick and give you guys some really great ideas for how to use Google. First off, Google News. Google News. You can use Google News to generate traffic, all right? And if you click on those tabs, one of those things you'll see is Google News. There's a lot of ways that you can use Google News to generate traffic for free to your site, to your business opportunity. And one of these things is to understand about how to use Site Command. Site Command gives a number of pages that are in Google News, and Google only keys news articles for 30 days. So if you put it on there within 30 days, your Google News article can get free hits and free leads and free eyeballs. So knowing how to place this stuff on Google is awesome. And using Site Command will show you a catalog of information that is all in the same category on Google News. Now, how can you get an article submitted to Google News? Do you realize that Google will accept press releases? All right? And there are two things that he gave us that we can use to get press releases added to Google News. One of which is PR Web, all right? And they get viewed on Google News. If you release a press release to PR Web's press releases get released to Google News, and it only takes between 5 to 10 minutes to create a press release for your own self. So that's pretty awesome. Something I never thought about before, and something that would definitely be able to get you in the green when it comes down to your idea of being able to make money off of Google. Next thing, prleap.com. There's a site called prleap.com, and you can have a press release released to Google on prleap.com. All right? And when you go on Google News, if you want to know how to place an ad on Google News, I'm going to share it with you right now. All right? Go on. There's a link that says About Google News. If you click on a link that says About Google News, on article number 26, it says, what if I do not see my news service? You can go to that article, and it will tell you exactly how to get your article placed on Google News. So if you go to About Google News and click on number 26, it will show you how, it'll give you direct instructions on how to get your article to place and be shown on Google News. So I'm suggesting that you use that as a way to get the information, because I'm going to be honest with you, that training was extremely long, boring, and excruciating. Chris, I'm going to let you talk from now, because this guy's over here trimming his tree.
Okay, that's something I never thought of either. That is something I never thought of, man. So what I'm thinking now is like, okay, you get to tie that in like using your Google Plus profile. Okay, like you got a Gmail account, you got a Google Plus profile, and post on there, like, you submit your article to PR Web or to PR Leap or one of those websites that you talked about, or go read that article that you talked about on how to get, basically SEO, and juice your own article. You know what I mean? Because Google loves their own stuff. That's what is a crucial point too. It's like, okay, if you want the most attention freely from Google, then you have to tie all their products together. Okay, so your Gmail, like how important it is for your Gmail to tie into the keywords you might want to use. Then you take that over to your YouTube. Okay, you take that over to your Google Plus, and you just keep feeding the machine, basically, and you're a blogger, the little free blog you get with Google. And you tie all those things together, and it's basically all organic SEO. But I never thought about using the Google News option, man. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Excellent perception right there, Chris, and I think it's pretty phenomenal also. It's something I never thought about either. Now, if you get free leads from Google News, that would definitely be a plus for your business. So if you never thought about it before, now you know, and you know exactly where to go if you click in about Google News at how to get your free leads on Google.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try that as soon as it's all right, Quiz. We can hear you. We can hear you. It's just you there, so the noise of the machines are probably irritating you. But we can hear you clearly.
All right, I appreciate that, Chris. All right, the next thing is, I was just talking about Google Images. Now, did you know that you can optimize graphics for Google image search and get more free traffic? You can optimize your graphics for Google image search for more free traffic. Would you like me to show you how to do that, Chris?
Yes, please. That's interesting. I want to see. Yeah, fill me in.
All right, please bear with me because my landscapers are so disrespectful right now. All right, but listen. Did you realize that for every graphic on Google, underneath the graphic is a text, and the text takes text from the page and it puts it next to the Google image. So if you look at any Google image, you're going to notice that there's some text next to the image or underneath the image. Now, if you want to add text to Google, what you do is that you go to Google Images, and you actually want to take all of the images, if you have a website, take all of the images on your website, and you can optimize them for Google. It's very difficult for me to do this with these guys over here, but I'm going to give it my best. I told you it's going to be a great day. I knew it was going to be an interesting day. You never know what obstacles are going to come up, but this is one of the proofs, one of those things where you just we're midstream live in a webinar and the show must go on.
Yes, it must go on.
All right, so there's something you could do on Google with your images by adding to alt text tag, and it'll basically catalog where your image will be found. Also, with your images, when you load them onto Google Images, because you can load your images onto Google Images, when you load your image onto Google Image, you will have all kinds of different things, like if you were putting together a video for YouTube, for example, you have tags, you have links, you have backlinks, and all kind of stuff like that you can use. Same applies with Google Images. So make sure if you load an image onto Google, you give it a title, and make sure that you utilize your tags and things of that nature to help you out as far as being able to get some good free traffic towards your Google image.
Hey, Quiz, I got a question.
Sure.
Okay, so when you say add text and tags, is it like when you go to YouTube and you upload a video?
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Okay,
right.
So does the excuse me, does the image have to be hosted on your site? Like, do you have to have?
I don't think the image doesn't. They want to know where the image came from. All right, because they want to make sure you don't have copyright infringements.
Right.
It's definitely better to come from your site or come from a place that you own. Do you follow me? But remember that tons of people edit images all of the time. All right. Tons of people do photo imaging editing. All right.
Right.
You want to connect your image with your site. Why? Because that image is going to connect people to your site.
Right. Right. Right.
Kind of like backlinks.
Right. Exactly. That's organic. So, so let's say you just take. I mean, this is a lot of copy for photos you can use without infringement or whatever. But would you say to use that for branding type of thing? You know what I mean? To where, for example, like KMX or PMF, okay, and then we got an image, a pay me forward image or something like that. Okay, it's hosted over here. So if I take that and then go to like Pixlr.com and add my Twitter tag onto it, and then I could use it, and then add it back to Google, because I'm sure that the original image is already there. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now that's when you can start to edit text. He clearly discussed about how editing a text. If you take a text and an image. Let's say that you take an image and you do an edit and you put a couple of words on it. That image is now basically yours, because
Right.
that's not the original
That's
image
right.
anymore. That's no
Right.
longer the original image. And when you go
So
on
you can
Google
do it all
Images and you
day.
take a look, when you take a look on Google Images, you're going to see a lot of images like that. And those people own those images, at least in the eyes of Google. And those texts lead back to somebody's site, and that is free traffic right there. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Chris.
Okay, cool. Okay. Because when you think about it that way, you can do this all day long. You know what I mean? You can do it all day long. And the thing would be, like, put in the keyword for the audience that you're thinking about. Okay, and then find images that when you get results back, you can click on images. You can see images, and then take the most popular images and edit them. You know what I mean? Put a website link on it, put a tag on it, whatever, and then upload the thing right back. That's pretty slick. I'm gonna have to see how it
Yes,
goes.
and for free leads on Google, it definitely is in your best interest to have a website.
Right.
Unfortunately, I can show you where to get websites and things of that nature, but it's pretty awesome. All right, I'm going to go into the next thing. We're going to get into our site maps, which I think was extremely technical and boring. I don't really want to put you guys to sleep through it. I had to sleep through it myself. Barb, if you could get us started on our KMX poll for our viewers who are watching this webinar right now, it'd be greatly appreciated, because I have a bunch of sound distractions here.
Are we asking that?
Barb, yes, I would like for you to ask the first 3 poll questions if you could. Greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Quizmatic Inc. social media professionals before today?
Question to you viewing this from home. Have you ever heard of Quizmatic Inc. social media professionals before today? If the answer is yes, click yes, and if the answer is no, click no. Okay, Barb, carry on for question number 2.
Have you ever made money online before?
Excellent question. If you're viewing this webinar, have you ever made money online before? I mean, no matter what business you're in, have you ever actually made any money online before? If the answer is yes, click yes, and if the answer is no, click no. Okay, Barb, if you could carry on for question number 3.
Do you see the value of increasing your education as it relates to the bottom line of your online business?
Okay, if you already have a business online, do you see the value in educating yourself as that relates to increasing the bottom line, which is more referrals, more sales with the business that you're in? Do you see the value of that? And if the answer is yes, click yes. And if the answer is no, click no. Most people I would definitely probably would believe are, if they want to see increase in bottom line sales, they probably would be interested in information that would help give them more information or education. Terry, if you could respond to that last question I asked on a poll, if educating yourself would be of value to you in regard to the bottom line of your business, do you think that would be something that would benefit you in business? Terry, if you could unmute your mic and then respond to that question. Okay, more technical difficulties. If anybody else would like to address that question, please feel free to if you're on my panel. Just unmute your mic for a moment and answer.
Absolutely. There is value in increasing your education. The more you learn, what is it you say? Learning is earning? That, I mean, it makes sense.
And it's true, it's true. So upgrading our education gives us a better opportunity to succeed. Would you agree, Jillian?
Absolutely. You take what you learn and put it to use, and you will succeed. You'll get better.
All right. And just to clear the air on that, Jillian, I always say a handful of things. I say work to learn, and you learn to earn, and when you learn to earn is when you get your return. Come on, work to learn, then you learn to earn, and when you learn to earn, that's when you get your returns. Barb, if you could proceed with poll question number 4, 5, and 6.
Do you know of at least one other person who could benefit from information we are sharing today?
So the question is, do you know of at least one other person who could benefit from the information that we are sharing here today? If you know of at least one other person, please click the tab that says yes. And I know for a certainty that I know way more than one person who could benefit from the information I shared, because Chris has been in the industry for 12 years and he just learned some stuff. All right. Barb, if you could go on to poll question number 5.
If you could get paid directly and immediately just by sharing valuable information like we are doing here today, would you think that it's a good opportunity?
All right. One more time, Barb. I had a problem hearing that. If you could one more time for me, please.
If you could get paid directly and immediately just by sharing valuable information like we are doing here today, would you think that it's a good opportunity?
If you could get paid for sharing valuable information like we're doing here today, that's it. Just sharing information similar to the information I'm giving you here today. Would you think that would be a good opportunity to offer people education and offer them information that they don't have that can help them out with whatever business that they're in, and get paid directly and immediately for doing such? If the answer is yes, click the tab that says yes. If the answer is no, then quite naturally click the tab that says no. Chris, what are your thoughts on that question as it relates to what we're talking about here?
Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean, it's birds of a feather flock together. My kind of principle and outlook on that is just, if you have a passion for being successful, you know at least one or two other people who share that vision with you. Someone said where three are gathered together, you got a good thing going on. So, I mean, it's not like other opportunities out here where you need 50 people and 100 people, 200 people on the left and 200 on the right and all this kind of thing before you even get any type of return on your investment. Having just 2 people to be successful with you, and that's it. I mean, that's the part I love about what it is that we do.
I agree with you, Chris. I've often said that learning is earning, and this is a perfect example of it. If you've learned something valuable on this webinar so far, then you can share that with somebody. That would definitely help them out and help them succeed. Barb, if you can go on to the next question, I'll poll, and then after that, I'll give you about 3 or 4 more different things I learned about Google to help you get free leads. Go ahead, Barb.
If you could succeed at making a decent income from home simply by inviting at least 2 people a week to a valuable training like this, would you think that would be difficult work?
If you could just bring 2 people to informational webinars like the one I'm having here today, at least 2 people once a week, and that was all it took for you to succeed, would you think that work to be difficult? Jillian, how about you? What would your answer to that question be?
No, it wouldn't be difficult. My answer would be no.
You don't think it would be hard to bring 2 people, at least 2 people a week, to a webinar like the one we're having right now, if that was all it took for you to succeed? Is that what your answer is, Jillian?
That's my answer. No, it would not be difficult.
And Jillian, you've been a member of KMX for a while, so you know that this isn't the only meeting that I have a week, right?
That's right.
All right. And believe me, this is one of the more interesting webinars I've ever thrown, because I got a lot of stuff going on right here, right now. All right.
Yeah. You need to grab a towel, man, before you pass out.
I muted my mic for a second because I'm trying not to be drowned out by the lawnmower guy. Okay, let me move on. There's a couple of other things I learned how to get free leads on Google. Now, I've told you guys that there's a little tab on Google that has different things that you can click on, and I'm not sure if anybody's ever actually checked all those things out. So let me ask you a question. Are you aware that there is Google Video? Are you aware that there's a Google Video that operates pretty much the exact same way as YouTube? Barb?
Yes. Am I aware of this? Yes, I am.
Awesome. How frequently do you use Google Video?
I don't use it that often, but I know it's there.
And do you realize that Google's a way more frequently visited information online hub than YouTube or any other place? Google is the #1 search engine on the entire internet. Are you aware of that, Barb?
Yes, I am. I use it all the time.
Bingo. And I think a lot of people use it all the time. So if I told you right now, if you place your video from YouTube, you can have your video placed onto Google Video, and you could generate free leads there. Would you think that that would be a wise idea or something that you might want to do?
Yes, it would.
Especially if you already have a video that's on YouTube. Chris, please weigh in on your opinions about that right there. Another way to get free leads off of Google.
Yeah, that ties into what I was saying earlier about the more you put Google products together, the better results you'll get. You know what I mean? For example, with the YouTube tip you just shared, okay, why not submit an article to Google, News or whatever, and then in your description box, put that article, you know what I mean? Put that article there. And then in your description, use the keywords. Oh man, that's brilliant, dude. I did, and you know what I mean? You can tie in, instead of like putting a link into another video in your channel, you could put a link in there that'll take you to the Google video as opposed to the YouTube video. So you're switching it, so it's basically on both catalogs. You catalog in several places on Google for the same video or for the same content. That's nice.
So remember, if you really want to get good results on Google, it's the same principles apply as, poor man's SEO, which we'll talk about at some other point, or what you would do on YouTube. Most important thing, make sure your title, if you're going to upload your video, make sure the title from your file, all right, matches the same title as on your video. Make sure that that same title is also in the body of the description of the video. Make sure that you also put inside of your description of your video tags, the same tags that you're going to use inside of the information for your video when you're putting it in any place, whether it's YouTube or Google. It's pretty much the exact same rules fall into place, but if you use good and consistent tags, if you use good and consistent keywords,
right.
if you use good and consistent titling, and you back that up and reinforce it, and then even if you double that up by using annotations that you can edit your video right there on YouTube to back that up, and all of that stuff is reflecting the same thing, you're going to have high visibility, and you are going to definitely get traffic. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, definitely going to get traffic. Definitely going to get traffic. And then the thing, too, is like, okay, in your description box, you can't you won't violate the terms of service of what YouTube considers to be keyword stuffing or tag stuffing, where you just like using your description over and over, just typing it over and over and over again in different ways, where your description don't really make sense. It's just a bunch of tags, really. So if you got an article that's already cataloged and you use that in your description box, right, with a link to the Google video, and put that in the annotations, and a link to the, put, like he was saying, in the annotations, put an annotation in there for the article that's on Google News, and put an annotation in there for the video that's on Google Video, right? So yeah, that's a lot, and I bet you, I don't think a lot of people do that, Quiz, because I've been doing this a long time, and that never, ever, ever, I've never seen a course about it or anything. That's good stuff.
Hey, man, we can't just be good. We got to be great.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are newbies to this industry, so they don't even realize how great some of these ideas that I just rattled off to them are.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's a gold nugget right there. That's that right there. I'm writing down. I'm writing down notes, man. I'm ready to go ahead and get this webinar over with, so I get to work.
You ready to get started? All right. Well, listen. On that note, what we'll do is I'll have Barb open up one more poll question, and then I'll follow it up with the last two pieces that I have for Google. I actually have a few more pieces, but we'll go with the last two pieces that I have for Google for ways to get free leads. And I'm gonna tell you something. My mind is open. That was a really boring training, but I'm gonna share something with you. The information was extremely valuable. Barb, if you can take it away with question number, I think we're on the question number 8 on the poll.
No, we're not. We have like 4 more questions.
All right. Well, whatever question that we're on, just take us away. Just let me know the number of the question. What are we on? Question number 7?
I don't see any numbers.
Okay. Well, whichever question that we're up to, just ask that question, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Would you like to be paid the same day by whichever payment processor you would prefer?
Would you like to be paid the exact same day from whichever payment processor that you would like or that you would prefer? The reason why I'm asking these questions is because with our opportunity that we're a part of, and as a member of Quizmax Sync, not only do you get to learn valuable information, you get to share valuable information. Not only as a member of my organization do you get to share up valuable information with your team and grow yourself, you also get a chance to share this with your prospects for whatever opportunity that they're in. And 9 times out of 10, a person is not in an opportunity where they are not even getting paid directly or immediately. So I'm going to share something with you. If you just bring a couple of people to these webinars that we're having, you're going to have a high conversion ratio, because believe me, the information and training that I'm giving here alone is well worth more than $35 one-time payment. So I want you to think about that. And if you have never been in an opportunity that allowed you to choose whichever payment processor that you chose to use, then I'm telling you right now, you're staring a gift horse in the mouth. So you may want to get with the person who brought you to this webinar directly and find out a little bit more about this opportunity by the time we conclude this opportunity, by the time we finish this opportunity webinar. Barb, if you can go to the next question, please.
If you had a choice of which payment processor to receive your payments, would you use PayPal? Would you choose PayPal?
And that's a really good question, because right now you're at a all right. Can you hear me, guys? That's a really good question.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because right now, not only do you have an opportunity to join a phenomenal business with an awesome team that's going to help support, give you education, all of the good stuff that you need to help succeed, also give you every opportunity to be able to grow your team, grow your network, grow your business, and build. But you have the choice of whichever payment processor that you like to get paid from. Now, if you did have a choice of using whichever payment processor that you actually chose, would you choose PayPal? And I asked you that question because there are some distinct benefits and advantages for having PayPal. So, Jillian, if you could choose whichever payment processor that you could get paid from, would you choose PayPal, and why, Jillian?
I like PayPal because, again, it's immediate. I can see it right when it happens.
Not just see it, but use it. Am I correct, Jillian?
Yes, you are. I have access to it immediately.
Which brings credence to the ability of you to be able to get paid immediately and directly. And when I say immediately and directly, I mean directly and immediately. All right? I'm not going to get into the next part of that, but the truth of the matter is immediately. If you didn't like PayPal, you could use Google Wallets. I've seen people who choose Western Union. It's your choice. You could have it your way like Burger King. All right, Barb, give us one more question, and I'm going to give these last 2 points, and then we'll do the final question before we get out of here.
If there were no monthly fees, would you feel a one-time payment of $35 was too high of a business startup cost?
All right, let's ask this question. Let's entertain this seriously. If there were no monthly fees whatsoever, nobody's digging in your bank account at all. All right, there's no monthly fees. You can choose whatever payment processor that you choose. You can choose your PayPal. You can choose your Google Wallet. You can choose whichever payment processor that you choose. You probably chose your PayPal because it's mostly worldwide accepted. Most people have a PayPal account. They're free to start, and you get your money immediately. But you don't even have any monthly fees. No monthly fees whatsoever, and it only costs a $35 one-time payment to get started. Now, let's be honest, people. It takes money to make money. I mean, would you consider $35 a one-time payment with no monthly fees too high of a cost for you to get started as a startup cost for your business? Chris, you've been in this industry for 12 years. I'm sure you've seen businesses or probably been part of businesses that cost you a lot more than that to get started. What are your thoughts on this as far as that question? Do you think that $35 one-time payment is too much to pay to get started with a business with no monthly fees whatsoever?
No, not from my experience. You know, and like you said, I've spent a lot of money, which bumps and bruises, but $35 is reasonable. I mean, we spend that going to the movies. You know, you spend that on pizza, you spend that on whatever, some beers or whatever you do, and it's a investment in yourself. You know, this $35 is not to buy some lotion, potion cream, something like that. It's an opportunity to educate yourself, it's self-empowerment, and educate yourself to become aware of how to be successful online. And I mean, to me, it's priceless. $35 is a huge discount for what we have, man. Huge discount.
Do you think that $35 one-time payment is too pricey to pay for the information that you just got right here? All right, because I'm not even done yet. We talked about Google Video. Who knows about Google Frugal? That's a tab on Google. You can check that out as well and see exactly how you could use that to implement you. Who knows about, they have Google Base, a Google database that you can get your information and you can get cataloged in there, and then you can also generate free leads from that. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I just got finished going through so many different things I never thought about before, that Google is the #1 search engine on the entire www. The World Wide Web. Google is the #1 search engine, and you could generate leads directly from there. I've never thought about that before, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a problem with recruiting or in any way, shape, or form. I've talked about a lot of fancy things. I've talked about mastering the art of duplication. I've built teams of over 100 several times over my career of 2 years in online marketing. Truth of the matter is, this information I'm giving you is not this isn't chump change information. This is stuff that you could start applying right now and start getting results from. Next, how many of you have thought about Google groups? Listen, I know a lot of people are running into Facebook groups. Do you realize that there are groups on Google? Do you realize that there are groups on Google? What if I showed you how to go on Google Groups, all right, and go into Google Groups and start getting leads immediately and start generating leads that are going to really make a difference on your ability to get paid? And you can help these people in Google Groups who are looking for the information that I'm giving away right now.
Right.
Invite them to the webinar. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Hey, this is nice, man. 30. I mean, just to answer your first question, to me, the value of what I've learned so far, it's a lot of new stuff. I'm inspired. I'm ready to go. So $35, even if it was just $35 for this webinar, I'd have been satisfied with my bread. You know what I mean? I would have felt like it was money well spent. Because now I'm thinking like Scroogle, I want to know what that is. Google Scroogle, what is that? You know what I mean? Google Groups, that makes sense. And it's like, why didn't you think of that? I don't know, but this is good stuff, man.
Well, I have an author who's in my organization, and last week I did a training on copywriting, so everybody knows how to write headlines. So we know how to write ads now if you're on my team, and that's the truth of the matter. Now, if I told you about the grand wizard of all the great ideas that I found about how to get free leads on Google, do you know that there's a Google book search? Do you know on Google that you can put your own book list in there and backlink that to your site if you choose to, and put your favorite reading material on Google, and people can go and look up your Google book list. And this is a fact. And to sign up for Google Book account is free. And all you need to do is create a Google book list. And those are not books that you have to own. And that, just by people looking at your Google book list and knowing that you have a Google book list, or people who don't even know what a Google book list is, and you actually sharing the fact that you have a Google book list, you can generate interest and free leads, because they're going to see, you're going to find like-minded individuals like you who simply like the stuff that you're reading. Imagine if you did that. Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to join Pay Me Forward, but I am going to say this. If you could join our organization for only $35 one-time payment and get more information like this, not to mention the conference calls that I host on Thursday that I absolutely convert people and tell them about the opportunity directly, and get a chance to get some more valuable free training that comes up next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, just like I've done tonight. Hopefully I won't have my groundkeepers here. Actually, I know I won't, because they only come once every 2 weeks. Would that be in your interest, and would that give you every ability to succeed? I'm not exactly sure. But most people who are looking for an opportunity or looking for a great one definitely would probably find advantage in the fact that there's no monthly fees. They definitely probably would find advantage in the fact that there's a minimum startup cost of only $35 one-time payment. And if you just found out just bringing 2 people a week to these webinars, to these conference calls, could result in money in your bank account immediately that same day with whichever payment process that you chose, I would be remiss not to tell a friend or two about coming to one of these webinars that we're having. On that note, before we sign out, Barb, if you can open up your microphone one last time, and whichever remaining questions that I have on a poll, feel free to ask.
Do you know that had you brought 3 people to this very webinar to gain from this valuable training, you could already have made your first earnings with PMF today?
Jillian, I'll give you a chance to respond to that question as she just asked.
Yes, I know that because we get paid on the third person. The first 2 will pay our upline, but the third person and onward, 3rd through 6th, pay us directly. So if we brought 3, that third one would be in our pocket.
And Jillian, that's worst case scenario, because there are people who've joined PMF and got paid from their very first person. Need I mention names? There are people who've joined PMF and got paid in their second person, like Shawnee Jackson, my Director of Personal Affairs. Her second person went directly to her. Barb, open up your microphone. What was your experience? Did you wait 2 people to get paid, or did you get paid on the first one or the second one? Exactly what was your experience? Just so people can understand.
I got paid on my first.
He got paid on a first person. So what I'm sharing this with you is that if you bought 3 people, you would definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, get paid if they join PMF right now today, if all you did was bring those 3 people to this webinar to get this valuable information. Now, if you tell me there's a better opportunity that you could find out there than that to succeed, or something easier that you could do to succeed, I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't possibly imagine what you were really offering. And if it's easy, it's sleazy. And this is nothing sleazy. You're getting educated, you're learning, and if you're bringing your prospects with you, you're earning. Thank you very much. My name is Kamal J. Pryor. I'm founder, CEO of Quizmatic Inc. Social Media Professionals. Please be sure to get with the person who brought you to this webinar. Get with the person who brought you to this webinar. Find out what it is that you have to do to get started today. The only difference that's going to happen between now and the time that you eventually join is the amount of other people are going to be satisfied of coming and earn money in between your place and the further in the back of the line you could be when you could have been at the front of the bus with us. All right. Again, thank you for your time. Greatly appreciate you. I hope you found value in this webinar, and hopefully the next time I will be able to do a more a more cohesive webinar without all the distractions. And I apologize for any inconvenience it may have caused you. All right, guys. I'll give you a final thought on this. Each of you, Jillian, we'll start with you with a final thought, then Chris, and then Barb, and then we'll go to the conclusion.
Another phenomenal, educational, inspiring webinar. Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate you greatly. Chris, if you can give me a final word as well.
Yeah, man, this is, I'm ready. I got my notes I'm going over right now. I'm ready to see, what I can make happen real quick. I got some ideas that I got to try quick. I appreciate it. You going through and sitting at those 2 hours listening to that boring stuff. You know what I mean? But just loving the team enough to go through it and take out the good stuff and be able to share it with us, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, anytime. And listen, let me share something with you guys. I've listened. You guys owe me because I really took a knife in the back for this that training that I went on, man. I'm gonna tell you something. That was the most boring, that was the most excruciatingly boring training I ever went through in my life. But because I went through it, you don't have to. And anytime you want that training again, if you even want the direct training, feel free to contact me. It's in my back office. I'll give it to you for free. Barb, if you can, you've done a phenomenal job as always with helping me out here as my personal assistant. I want to let you know I greatly appreciate you. And if you can give me your final thoughts on this webinar. I know that Terry's microphone is having some issues there, but if you can give me your final thoughts, and then we'll go out on that note.
And thank you again. And I'm ready to get with Chris and everybody else that actually listened to the other webinar. The training, is so I can learn some stuff and get in those new groups. And
yeah, well, the stuff is real simple. In fact, I'll give you, since you mentioned the Google groups, how about this, guys? Here's an extra bonus for everybody. Oh, my goodness, quiz. The value just never ends. If you've been on this webinar whole of this time, how about I give you some extra bonus? Now, they call Chris CJ the Free Money Guy KMX. And CJ Free Money Guy KMX, I have something free for you. Just for attending this webinar, I'm going to give you one group that you can join right now, and you can get with my good buddy over there. In fact, let me dig up his name. If you guys were in my group chat earlier, I had the gentleman's name. Let me see where my KMX group is. Okay, what is this guy's name? His name was Ron something or other. And I'm going to show you exactly how to find him, and you can ask him questions directly.
A show dedicated to animated shorts.
Chris, your background microphone. I'm about to give you this information real quick. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to not only give you that, I'm going to give you guys a group to go to. The gentleman's name is Ron Wheeler. Ron Wheeler. Last name spelled Wheeler. He was the person that you're training with. And Ron Wheeler talked about one phenomenal thing that I want to give you guys all as an extra bonus goodie here. If you go to adwords.google.com, you can find a Google group for adwords.google.com. Chris, you know about AdWords. This is a paid, that's how you pay to get your advertisements, high SEO rankings on Google. Well, they actually have a group for AdWords, and it's called adwords.google.com, and yes, they ask questions and they answer questions. And you can find Ron Wheeler in there, and Ron Wheeler has a huge following. He answers questions in there all day long. It's very time-consuming stuff, but he's just a real technical guy. He likes doing it, and if you go on there and you friend with Ron Wheeler, then you're probably going to start getting some friends from him. And he is telling me and telling you specifically that if you want to get some free leads off of Google, then that is definitely the place to be. If you go into Google with the information like the information we're sharing now and help with people in Google and get into these groups and offer the information that you know the people who are looking for it, you will have a very high likelihood that you will have people joining your business and looking up to you and becoming followers of yours. So not only have I given you a great webinar with great information, I'm also giving you a great resource and a great tool and literally telling you to go to adwords.google.com and find that in your Google groups and use that as one of your most valuable resources to getting free leads. Now, if that's not valuable, I don't know what is. Now, I've always said that giving is living, and I think that you've seen me give. I've always said that sharing is caring, and you can't say that I don't care. And I've always said that learning is earning. And if you're learning, you're going to be earning. All right, thank you very much for my time. Remember, people have problems, Quiz has solutions. Quizmax Inc. Social Media Professionals. We're not going anywhere, baby. KMX for life. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Deuces.
Bye.
Bye, Barb.